Welcome back to the podcast. We're going to go over, how to keep an injury-free life
Nice.
or
That's
try and attain that lifestyle.
pretty much what we do for a living.
100% got you with the first question. What are the biggest mistakes people make that lead to chronic injuries over time?
A couple of things come to mind, bro. I think the biggest one would be being overweight. Being overweight's a big factor. Another thing would be overwhelm. A lot of people doing too many things. I feel overtraining is another way of saying it. And then thinking long. No one really thinks like this day and age. Everything's very short. You got 8-week challenges or 12-week challenges, and I think that sort of, especially when you're talking about injuries, people don't look at it from a long perspective. Can you maintain something or look after yourself over 2 to 3 years? And I think once you span that mindset out, then you're able to sort of like not get overwhelmed. You can understand why you're overweight. You can dive into your food and all that sort of stuff, and that can obviously keep you injury free, which is the key factor.
Yeah, 100%. Just being in, like, we're sort of talking about it before we started, like general shape. Most people are quite out of shape to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they go into hard training and then they pick up those little niggles and injuries because they're doing things that are far too ahead of where they sort of need to start. I think I did a post on, or will be posting something on, like going straight into classes.
Yeah.
You're in a environment where sometimes, you get ahead of yourself. You want to keep up with everyone, and then sometimes that's not right for you in that moment. It's totally fine. Like, sort of, we get the F45s, what else is there? Group classes.
Like the yard.
Yeah, those types.
Yeah, like C3 training.
Yeah.
All those sort of group classes. Perfect example, bro. Like, you go into those classes and the guy that's been there for, maybe a year, you're trying to keep up with that person.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, bro. You got to like be calm and just take it at your own pace.
Good for motivation. And then when you speak about just having that long term, instead of doing the 8-week challenge, think of it like the 3-year challenge.
Yeah, exactly right, bro.
People do a lot better over 3 years than like getting in shape for 8 weeks and then having 8 weeks off.
That's exactly right. And a lot of the people that do come to us, I feel, have been exposed to that style of training. And I'm not trying to downplay it or anything, because it is good. But what if you could sort of build a good foundation and then go into that? That's all we're coming from.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So a lot of the guys that I do coach, they're the same age as me. They've got families. They do train by themselves. But then they'll do the program with me, bro, for 3 to 4 months, and they're feeling mad. And then they go and do stuff like classes, and they want to get into that environment. Like, by all means, go and do it. But build that foundation first, and then go in and be able to enjoy that injury-free, that longevity that you've created for yourself.
Yeah, so it works for, probably like 80% of people, and then there's the 20% that just get niggles, right? And then we deal with those sort of and help those guys build up their foundations a little bit better.
Yeah, nice. Next one, bro.
Yep.
All right, how do you balance mobility, strength, and recovery to prevent injuries?
Oh, proper program. That always helps. Sometimes you can do less and achieve more.
Yep.
Did a little bit of content on that as well.
Yeah.
So when you have a proper plan, you're not just doing junk reps or things that you don't really need to, doing too many accessories. And then I think to get strong, you have to understand progressive overload.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that. They understand sweat or it feeling hard, but then they don't understand, okay, last week I did 3 sets of 10 with 6 kilo dumbbells. Next week I'll do 3 sets of 10 and try the 8 kilos.
Yep.
I feel like people just stay on the 3 sets of 6, or they, do an extra set or extra burnout, and then that sort of hinders their results over a long term. Like short term, you can sort of get away with it because you're just generally out of shape, but then the long term, you stack months and you're still doing the same
thing,
same stuff and not progressing. That's where a good program comes in, where you can do strength and the mobility together.
Yep.
I think a big myth about mobility is you need to do classes or a long hour session or 45 minutes. We dialed it down to 10 to 15, which is much more manageable for people. to fit in with their lifestyle as well. And you put that in your warm-up into your strength program.
Yeah, I was just about to say
And then
that.
you've ticked all the boxes, I feel. And then recovery is just... Like, recovery is built into the program.
Yeah.
So you program in a way where you hit upper body, you hit lower body, and then you got the 48 hours rest between muscles or whatever. You have a day off in between. And then, yeah, you sort of listen to your body a little bit in regards to that as well. Sometimes you have seasons of going super hard.
Yep.
Some seasons of maintaining. But then try not have the season of just full doing nothing.
Yeah.
Because
Because those seasons then you do nothing, you're pretty much just washing all that stuff, the hard work that you've done. And as we know, bro, like last year was the first time I've had longer than 2 weeks off training.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone saw it, but like I lost pretty much, I feel like a 6 month to year's worth of work. You know what I mean? I've never had that feeling before, but I specifically did it just to see what would happen because I haven't had that time off. So yeah, bro, and understanding, just to go back on to what you were saying before, understanding that in essence too, like mobility is strength as well. And people don't really understand that. You know, they say things like, oh, I'm doing my stretching. I'm like, nah, man, like you're doing mobility, and mobility leads into strength anyway. Like I feel if you do mobility well enough, you can maintain a pretty good body. You know what I mean? Just as long as you're getting the basics right, if you're eating well. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying strength isn't needed because it is, because it holds mobility and flexibility and shit. But if you do it correctly, you're able to like keep pushing that needle to the point where your baseline or your standard that you're normally at, it's always going to get better. Progressive overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I got you with, is there a difference between training for performance versus training for longevity?
Like you said before, the phases, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you're training to perform, perfect example, NRL. You know, they do preseason, they go hard. Then they get into, you know, the trials. They sort of starts tapering off. And then when they get into the season, it's sort of like maintaining over the year. And that's pretty important when it comes to performance, because you can't just go balls to wall for the whole time. And that's what happens at these public gyms, bro. Like they're pretty much designed just to go hard.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
That's true.
Get a sweat, go hard, and then fuck off. I feel like it's what's the word for it? A lot of like footy guys, they'll go and do these gym places and clubs and shit, and then one, they'll either get injured, or two, they're just constantly flogging themselves and they're never getting that rest.
Yeah.
They're going away from that performance environment, which is what their bodies are used to. Don't get me wrong, it can work, but most times I feel like it doesn't. You know what I mean? And then on the other point of view, the training for longevity, that's where we're getting at. I feel like if you train a little bit more like you're performing, I feel like you can get a longer injury free. You know, you can stay. Yeah, you can stay.
Better lifespan.
Because you're sort of like seasonal with your training. You know what I mean? Like you get to Christmas, then that's seasonal. You know, you're training. You're not just flogging yourself constantly. And I feel like if people actually apply those principles to their own trainings, man, I feel like we have like a better human.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, and sort of with that jumping in the classes coming from like those competitive backgrounds where you know how to go hard and you know how to push your body. So you push it too far and you sort of end up with those injuries. Yeah, because you know how hard you used to be able to train, but then maybe you've taken a little while to rest or whatever, and then you go into an environment where, I don't know, they're set up to go pretty hard sometimes. Yeah. Not all of them, but yeah, I don't see much training systems have like that deload.
Yeah.
Or like
mad, bro.
You know, deload week.
Can you explain what a deload is?
It's just giving your body a rest from when you're redlining too much.
You know what I mean? Like imagine, and can I just jump on that? So if you go to a F45 class, they don't teach that, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's redlining all the time. Yeah. You're looking at your heart rate. You're looking at the next person next to you. Like I need to beat this person. Like if you went into there for 1 week, I don't know if to do it anymore, but if you went into a week and it was a deload week and then the whole thing was like, all right, we're doing 60% of what we normally do, people would lose their fucking minds, bro.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, this is not normal. This is not normal.
I need
that's performance. Sweat. That's what we're used to. And that's what people sort of go away from, just because, let's be honest, man, all these places, they bang on buck. And what's the buck? Weight loss.
Yep.
And that's all they're driving for. And we get it too. But to look after yourself and from a long form, bro, you got to learn how to do those weeks.
And we've both taken classes, so this is coming from a little bit of experience. You did F45, I did the classes at the gym as well. So
Yeah.
it is hard to build into those classes though.
Can I just jump on that, bro? Like when I watched your females at Maryland's and the way that you coached them, that's how it should be done.
Yeah.
Like you structured it like how you would coach a footy team, right?
Yeah.
And they got strong fast, but then like you'd watch them move through the gym and you're like, oh fuck, that's how a footy team moves. Or that's how a performance, unit moves, which is a cool fact.
Yeah, it's really difficult in a class setting to build in the mobility stuff. I always had that strength component where the barbells are set up, and then I'd do a mobility station, and then like a cardio station or accessory station, and just get it. I still had them on the clock, but you sort of just had to just figure things out a little bit, because when people are doing strength work, you got other people doing mobility work, and then you got to classes are just not the best environment to really get the best out of your body. You're doing a session for 20 people compared to just doing an individual session, which is a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can get a lot better out of a proper program for yourself as well.
Yeah. Next one, bro.
Is this me to you?
This is me to you, I think.
Yep.
What role does lifestyle, sleep, stress, nutrition play in injury prevention?
Massive.
The biggest role.
Yeah, the easiest way to mess up your training is just to have a poor sleep. Everyone's had a poor sleep before, and then going into training underdone. You still want to train or hit those targets that you had, but sometimes, just a horrible sleep, less than, I don't know, your normal. Say you're doing 3 to 6 hours on sleep, and then you go into a training session trying to hit the target. Sometimes you just got to ease up on those things, don't you reckon?
That's just to jump on that, bro. Like, there was this study that was made. I saw this reel the other day. The bloke's like, most people that get injured, their sleep patterns are way off. And that's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And that's just sleep by itself. That's not even like recovering or looking after yourself or eating well or drinking well. If you want to get injured, basically, don't sleep.
Yeah. And I was doing nighttime work, doing traffic control, doing sessions as well. That was tough. You definitely notice when your sleep patterns are out of whack, your strength levels go down, your hunger goes up as well. So that ties into the nutrition factor. You reach for shittier foods, which, heavy carb meals get you feeling a bit more tired as well. And then, I don't know, just stress as well. Lifestyle factors, I don't know, relationships with partners, friends, family, work colleagues, higher stress levels tend to play a big factor, and just motivation as well.
And that's what's good about these wellness checks that I've been throwing out at these people, man. And basically a wellness check is, how are you feeling every morning, and how is it going to affect your training? Like, you do that over a 30-day period, and then you sort of like get the data and see which days that you did well when it comes to your wellness, and then how it matches up with the days that actually happened. It doesn't even have to be about training. It could be all about feeling. Like, fuck, I felt so good this day. Why? The night before I had 8 hours sleep. I made sure I drank all my water. My stress levels were low. There's nothing going on in life. And then the days that you aren't, then you're like, oh, fuck, baby was up all night last night, so I had a fucking shit sleep, and that's why I feel like shit.
Yeah.
And then you just match up those days. And then it's just a matter of like, all right, what works? I need to try and do this and broadcast it in front of me now. So that way I'm always performing at, 70 to 100%.
That's on some days, like, you can't hit certain lifts.
You just can't,
take the weight off and you're like, fuck, this feels heavy today. Like, and it can be those nutrition, sleep or stress ties into it.
And then, like, if you're feeling those days too, like, you can actually take a step back from training in itself, and then, like, just focus on that stuff. Focus on your sleep. Focus on getting your meals, and focus on getting your water in, and just sort of like having a little bit more awareness. I feel like a lot of people just do it willy-nilly. I feel like shit, I need to go hard. Nah, cuz, you need to relax and chill out.
Yeah, you need to tick all the boxes: sleep, nutrition.
Yeah.
dial in first, and then you're gonna have your shit days, and just know that's gonna happen.
Hard.
Especially if you're training like years after years. So
Sometimes it's just good to tick the old box, bro.
that's it, bro. How do you know when to push through discomfort versus when to back off?
This hard one.
Yeah.
You know, like discomfort is going for a PB for me. That's a perfect analogy. Like I know I need to push myself. I might go out a bit of out of form a bit to get that PB.
Yep.
But then everything else to the before that, when to back off is if I'm not going for a PB, if I'm not pushing myself, then it's all about technique.
Yep.
And that's probably the best analogy I can have.
Yep.
For that one, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people think they're training hard until they sort of train with someone else, and then they understand, that's what
yeah.
training hard is. It's sort of like when you do your first NRL preseason, you're like, oh shit, this is another level of hard that I've never experienced.
Yep.
But you can adapt to it. You just have to take your time and just get the reps in.
Exactly right. And just like being there and being present in that too, it's like a learning curve too. A lot of people don't realize you could just hang around a preseason and like be a part of it and still get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's understanding that. And then like the best thing about NRL, bro, is they have control of everything. You know, they know when to, you know, pull back or let the, you know, foot off the gas and all that sort of shit, which is good.
Yeah, they're tracking heaps. They got the GPS on every session. So that is a lot. Plus they're tracking all the weights. Get 2 massages a week.
Fucking the best, bro.
You got ice baths after every training. You got your protein shakes. You got your Gatorades to stay hydrated. So that's another level where probably just the general population doesn't see or haven't experienced as well. But we're lucky enough to see that there are different levels to certain things.
Yeah. And I think a good like thing of backing off, you know, if you don't feel good going into anything, I feel like you have every right to sort of like kick back, man, put your foot off the gas and just get through that day, that session and sort of like taper off. And then when you're feeling good, then go up a notch again.
Yeah, not just skip the whole session. You can go and do something that's still going to help out long-term wise as well.
That's the best thing. We could probably go into a bit of injury stuff too, bro. Like for a knee, for example, if your knee's feeling like shit, then don't stop doing training. Continue doing it, but just regress it to the point where you just feel something. People don't have that patience, and people have too much ego. They're like, oh, I need to go fucking balls to wall.
Yeah.
Nah, cuz pull back on the fucking gas and then just get through the session as best as you can with the best technique and then see how you feel the next day.
That's the same with flare-up injuries. Any tendon issues that people have, as soon as that starts flaring up again, they just stop completely, which is what we argue against. We sort of just regress until you find that level, even if it's fucking, I don't know, body weight.
Yeah.
Half body weight.
Yep.
2 kilo dumbbells.
Right.
You know, you can find a level that you can be at.
Yep.
Squeezing your quad when you've done your ACL in bed. Like, there's heaps of things that you can do that are going to, you know, help the body recover.
Just recover, man. Because the first thing that happens, as we know, bro, an injury happens, everything else just tightens up, that makes the injury worse.
Yeah.
You know, what if we just kept everything else strong and then worked slowly on that area? Bro, you'll get back faster.
Yeah, 100%.
Last one, bro.
Yep.
What are the non-negotiable habits for staying mobile, strong, and pain-free as you age? Can I jump on one?
Yup.
Hip flexor stretch.
Yeah. That's the easiest one to
non-negotiable every day. Like you said in that fucking post that you did yesterday, bro. Every day for the rest of your life.
Yep.
That's just me.
Just plain and simple. And then, which comes back to consistency. Being consistent with your routine. Sort of like spend an hour out of your day to keep your body in good shape so you can age gracefully. Especially if you're plus 30. I don't know. In my teens and 20s, I could get away with murder.
Anything.
Yeah. You could drink a couple of times a week, eat Macca's, KFC, and then turn up to training and still rock it easy. That's what I was doing. It's not the best thing, but I don't know. As you age, I don't know. I felt at, 26? Maybe 28? Everything starts going downhill, eh?
Yeah.
You can't recover from those hangovers like you used to.
Nah.
everyone feels it, you know, after you've had a big night out on the drink in your 30s. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
bro.
gone for a week. I don't drink anymore for that reason. I just don't have the time to
Yeah.
feel crap, I
Yeah.
guess.
Like, you just, fuck, what feels crap, what feels good, just do more what feels good. That's it, bro. And, like, the consistency factor is such a big thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I took a screenshot. Fuck, I can't show anyone it, but yeah, I've had this guy called Ben Cooper on the program since last year. He's on the mentoring program too, bro. So, like, obviously, I'm giving him more. The most consistent human, and you should just see the difference. You know what I mean? The way he speaks, the way he talks about himself. You know, like his calendar, bro, was just, I looked at it, I was like, oh, fuck, it's like the perfect avatar, bro.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, like, if you can stay consistency with small things first, you know, like just completing your workouts, and then you slowly add with time, so you get to the point where it just becomes a lifestyle, and that's what it is for Ben.
Yeah, 100%. It's just all comes back to self-discipline. Always find the people that are overweight that come and do mobility drop off real quick just because they can't be consistent. They haven't shown consistency. That's probably why they're overweight to start with. So I shouldn't take overweight clients to begin with. They sort of need to get that in check first. And then, you know, I think people have consistency in other areas of their life,
Yeah.
but then they just don't apply it to training. And then they wonder,
Consistently eating shit.
why isn't that working for me? Then you have consistently overweight, consistently bad finances, consistently, just falling off the wagon. So always try and say people to, like, because physical training is the one thing you have control over the most, right?
Fucking oath, bro.
Yeah, so.
Can I jump on that?
Yeah.
Just, and like, you know, for me, I use mobility, just mobility in itself, nothing else, as a starter kit for, you know, getting into my training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I know if I need to get somewhere, mobility is always my starting point.
Yep.
All right, fuck, I don't feel like training, bro. I don't feel like training. But if I can hit 15, 20 minutes of mobility exercises and build the consistency there, then you just add. All right, next month I'll do 10,000 steps on top of that. And then I'll add a strength program on top of that. And then I'll add a diet on top of that. And it just becomes a point where you're just like, fuck, you're moving and doing well, bro.
Preaching to the choir.
Preaching to the choir, my bro.
Shot, bro.
Shot, 'cause he